All right, hello everybody. Welcome to episode 5 of the podcast. We're here another week. We're barely hanging on. We've been going through a
Yep.
lot of technical difficulties, but hopefully this time it all works out. Um,
hmm
anyways, let's see. Let me think. What was I saying before? We've started this like 9 times. I'm gonna be dead honest with you. Um,
We were talking
so I'm
about
trying
getting
to
into
right.
Stardew Valley
Stardew. So we've been
recently.
playing a lot of Stardew Valley lately. Um, I guess I should start off by saying my week was not that eventful. I don't think Sauce's was either, but I
Nope,
won't speak
same
for
old,
him.
same
Um,
old.
Same old shit. But yeah, we have been playing Stardew, which has been a lot of fun. Um, I played it a long time ago on my Switch, like forever ago, but I didn't get that far into it. Not as far into it as we are now. We're like 15, 16 hours in. But I've been enjoying myself. I don't know about you, but like it kind of feels like I'm a kid again playing a game. Does that make sense?
No, I feel the same way. I don't know, it's simple but not simple, and I don't
Yeah,
know, it's like the perfect blend of like the game I'm looking for right now. So,
right. Like casual, but still kind of story based. But like
mhm,
there's still
yeah.
aspects that you need to grind. I think
hmm Like,
it's like
it's
perfect.
simple, but there's so much to learn at the same time.
Yeah,
And then, yeah.
it's been great. I've been enjoying myself a lot. I haven't like I noticed when and we talked about it over the past couple podcasts. We've mentioned it a lot that like gaming just hasn't felt the same for us lately.
hmm
And we've been really struggling to find a game that brings that feeling back of like I think I said it to him while we were playing like oh shit like I looked at the clock and we've been playing for like 6 hours and I was like oh fuck it's like 7 in the
Yep.
morning like what the fuck happened like it just went away, the time went away. And it's been a while since I've felt that. And I've been
Indeed.
really enjoying myself. It's been a good time. It's been a fun time. But I don't even think we've scratched the surface of the game yet, which is great.
No,
I think we got a
I
lot left in there, but yeah.
starting to get like YouTube shorts and like random like TikToks based on it because like I searched it up one time just about like how to
Yeah.
do this or how to do that, and then I
All
was
you
like,
recommended
this
is
looks
Stardew.
so just yeah, unlike
I
anything
feel
we're even
like
close to seeing yet.
right. I went into a stream. I want to say yesterday or the day before, and
hmm
excuse me. It looked like wild. Like I was like, this is a different game. I just like, clicked off because I was like, I'm not. I'm so far behind wherever this is. I don't want it. I don't want anything spoiled. Like I'm just gonna grind to get to that point because
Yeah,
it was crazy ahead. But no, I've been having a good time with that. That's pretty much been our week. I'm not gonna lie. Like we pretty much just been grinding Stardew the past week. So
yeah.
um, and we'll probably continue to do that. I would imagine. Um, we just got done watching the playoff games. Uh, it is Sunday.
Indeed.
It is Sunday, early morning Sunday. Wait, early morning Monday. Fuck. Yeah, this is
Yep.
gonna be a struggle to get up in time. Anyway, um, let's see. Chiefs beat the Bengals. Philly beat the Niners, which I think
Yep.
I was pretty correct on my, you know, my estimates. I don't know what the fuck to say. My bracket was okay.
Predictions.
Yeah,
Yep.
the predictions like Chiefs and Philly Super Bowl, pretty much what I had, except for I had the Jags losing and I had the Bills winning, I think. Or maybe I had the Bills losing. I really can't remember.
I can't
I might have
recall.
had the
I
Bills
almost
losing.
think you had the Bills losing, but
It's definitely possible. But
I think
anyway,
so. I don't think a lot
games
of us had
games today
much
I was right
faith in
about.
the Bills, but
Yeah, the Bills just don't. I just didn't think. I mean, like when they lost to the Jets, I was like, uh oh. And not that the Jets were that bad this year, but the
hmm
Bills should have been better than the Jets.
yeah.
Um, but I don't know. Josh Allen just didn't look like he used to or did earlier in the season. Like their end of season just kind of slowly declined, and I don't know if it was injury based. I don't think anyone really got that injured, right? I mean, Allen got injured for a little bit, but it was a hand
Allen had a
thing.
bit of a yeah arm injury, elbow injury. They lost Von Miller from their defense
Right. Forgot
and
about that.
a couple other parts of the defense, I think, but still the it's more so the offense struggling,
Yeah.
I think, later on.
Um. But yeah, so Bills got taken out. But the games for today were. I mean, the Chiefs game was fun. Um,
Yeah.
but that's about it. Um,
Yeah,
I don't know.
the
I
San
I
Francisco game
definitely
was tough.
Yeah, that was a tough one. It kind of sucks because they just kind of like it's just unfortunate because they might have had a good chance. They really might have had a good chance.
I think they could have kept it competitive,
Yeah. If
definitely.
but their injuries just it was just a bad day for them. It was just a bad day.
Yeah, all
Um
around.
yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Chiefs game was fun. The other game wasn't that great, but I mean my predictions were pretty much correct. I don't know how the Super Bowl is going to go. I think depends on if the Chiefs are healthy, like if everyone's
Yeah.
back on the field. If not, then we kind of have a problem.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping that Mahomes' ankle is okay. I mean, it's a 2 week break, so
Hopefully it can get a little better so he's not hobbling around. But
yeah. I mean, if he can't like run around, it definitely becomes a lot more difficult because you don't have him running for first downs, and
mhm.
I think that not that he's a running QB, but it definitely helps when your QB can just find a route and run for a first.
Yeah.
Um, But if everyone's healthy and hopefully Kelsey stays healthy, I think it'll be a good game. But if the Chiefs aren't healthy, it's going to be interesting. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know because the
Yeah.
Eagles look pretty good. But to be fair, I don't know if they've had the toughest run. Like
No,
I
I
don't
would
know.
argue, and I saw this on Twitter too, they probably had one of the easiest like paths to a Super Bowl. Um,
Yeah.
Not to discredit what they did against San Francisco. I mean, they still
Right.
put up 31 points against the number one defense in the league, or
True.
however many they scored
True.
today. But
Yeah.
at the same time, they
That
had the ball
offense
so
wasn't.
much
Right.
because the other team's offense was using their fourth, fifth string
Fourth
quarterback.
string. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, they had
and
McCaffrey throwing for a little bit. I just was
yeah,
it really went the worst possible route it could have went for them, which is
hmm
unfortunate for the season they had because I
hmm
mean their season was for them to even have made it that far is pretty crazy. I mean they were
yeah,
running their third string. I mean a bunch of injuries. They had Bosa out. I mean it was just a tough season for them. So it sucks that they went out that way, but
indeed, yeah,
it does make me kind of I don't know what's gonna happen at the Super Bowl for like the first time. Like I feel like before there were favorites. Like I would always go
yeah,
like that team's probably gonna beat this team. Like you kind of had an idea. This
hmm
time I don't know because like you said they might have had the easiest run to get there. Like they might they really didn't have a tough time getting there. Um
yeah,
so and the Chiefs you'd argue they played some pretty good fucking teams this year. So
hmm
I mean they just beat the Bengals. Granted, it was close, but you also have to think it's not like they were that healthy either. I mean,
no,
Tony went out, a few other people went out, Snead went out. I mean, they lost a lot of people that game and still won. So
still pulled it out.
yeah, so I really don't know. Well, I think this will be a real testament on like if the Eagles are actually good, like because this is
hmm
I feel like this is probably the Eagles' first. I don't want to say first game of the season that they're playing like an all-around good team, but I kind of feel like it is. Like every time they've played someone, someone was missing or there were injuries or they just weren't that good based on their division. Like,
Yeah,
so I don't know. We'll really have to see. I think it might still be a close game because I don't know, man. The Eagles are good. It's not like they're not good. I'm just
hmm
I'm curious on like, are they actually that good or like you said, did they just kind of have a fast route to the Super Bowl because they were the best team in the NFC? Like
yeah.
NFC was kind of trash this year. Like AFC was pretty stacked. Like I'm trying to think of that. I mean, some of the New York
I
teams
mean,
showed life, and that's good. But
yeah,
I don't know. They played a lot of shit teams this year, so
yeah.
I don't know. We'll just have to see. But I don't know. Who do you have winning? Like if you could give your best guess, it's such a tough one. It's such a tough Super Bowl.
It it's so tough. Like, how can you vote against Mahomes after what he did this week? You know, he's gonna have 2 weeks off to hopefully heal.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that Eagles pass rush is like so deadly, and if Mahomes
Yeah.
isn't able to run outside of the pocket like normal, I'm a little
Mm.
worried that he's gonna end up getting sacked a lot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I bet against them once and I was wrong, but I think I'm gonna, if I had to bet, I would give the odds probably 55% Eagles, 45 Chiefs.
Wow. Yeah. It's tough. I mean, as a Chiefs fan, I want to bet on the Chiefs, like,
Hmm.
but it really is up to if everyone's healthy. If
Hmm.
everyone's healthy, I think it might lean even in the Chiefs' direction.
Yeah.
But Mahomes is injured. I mean, not saying Tony was that useful this season, really. He had a few good games, but I mean, he's been out for so much of it that I don't know if having him out again is that much of a hit based on they probably built the offense around not having him.
Yeah.
But if you have, I mean, you have Snead out. You gotta hope
Yeah.
Kelsey stays healthy enough. I don't know.
Hmm.
It's just tough. I think right now, like if the Eagles played the Chiefs today, I think that they'd probably beat them. So
Like with all the
I don't
injuries
know.
that happened through
Yeah,
today's game.
like yeah,
Yeah,
no, just like in
but
general. Like I think if the Eagles played the Chiefs team that played today, the Eagles probably win.
mhm, yeah.
So I don't know. Like it's tough. We'll just have to see.
But then you have
If I'm a
like,
betting man, I probably bet on the Eagles still. But like if everyone's healthy, I think
yeah.
it's fair. It's a fair.
But you have Mahomes who has like the Chiefs have more of that Super Bowl experience, that big game
True.
experience
It's true.
compared to. I mean, Jalen Hurts, he's looked good. I don't think he'll choke just because it's a Super Bowl or anything,
Yeah.
but I think
He's
having
definitely
been there
gonna.
multiple times is gonna help the
Yeah,
Chiefs a
for
fair
sure.
bit.
I think so as well. Um, but yeah, we'll just have to see. I'm happy that they made it to the Super Bowl. It's gonna be great to be able to watch them play at a Super Bowl anyway. So like them getting there is great. As
Hmm.
long as it goes a little different than it did last time they were there, I'm totally cool. Like as long as it's a close game, dude, that Tampa game was terrible. I remember sitting on the couch watching Mahomes run to his own end zone like consistently. He would
Yep.
just get pressured so much and start running backwards, and it happened the whole game, and it was so like I was like, damn, the whole season to watch this, bro, like it fucking sucked. So hopefully this game goes a little differently and they come out with a win. I think it's possible. I don't think it's
Oh,
impossible,
definitely.
but it's gonna be tough. And I don't know. Again, I just like, are the Eagles actually that good? Are they gonna be able to play against kind of a veteran team that? I mean, there's a lot of rookies on the Chiefs, but most of the key factor pieces of their offense has been to the Super Bowl twice.
Yep.
So like, can you really? Are you gonna be able to compete with that? You know? We'll just have to see. I don't know, but yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I put your predictions in the comments if you're watching this far in. I'm
Indeed.
curious. I'm curious what people think. I think a lot of people are gonna bet on the Eagles. I think. I think a lot of people
Yeah,
probably see the Eagles as a stronger team.
we'll have to see. I mean,
Yeah.
it's tough not to with just the injuries the Chiefs have. Um,
Yeah.
but again, who knows how good the Eagles actually? I mean, they're obviously good. Who knows how good?
Yeah.
But
I mean, what was the Chiefs? Chiefs had through 4 losses? No, couldn't have been that high. Two? I don't know how many losses
regular
they had
season,
going into playoffs. Yeah,
I think they had three,
they
I
had three.
believe.
I mean, Eagles could have easily had 3 losses. I'm surprised they didn't actually, because Hurts was out for.
Eagles had 3 losses.
They did. I thought they only had one
No, they were 15-1 while Hurts was playing,
while Hurts
and
was
they
playing.
were one
Okay,
and
that's probably what I
two
saw.
while he wasn't playing,
While he
or
was
0
gone.
and
Okay.
2 maybe. Um,
Yeah, we'll just have to see. I don't know. I really don't know. Because Mahomes is also like sometimes he does shit like he did today, where like the ball just fucking is gone out of his
I've
hands for some reason. That was the craziest shit I've ever seen, by the way.
never
I
seen a
haven't
fumble
seen
like that.
not like a big QB, like an all-star QB
No.
just it just fucking fell out of his hands. Like
Like
I don't know what
if Brock
happened.
Purdy did that when he came back in the game because he had lost like all the grip strength in his hand, I would have
Then
got
I
it,
would
you know, like
understand. Yeah.
but
Not
No.
just fucking taking a snap, dude. He had the snap and he had possession and it just fell out of his hands. I don't know. Maybe his
Yeah.
hands were cold. I guess it was pretty cold, but still, I don't. That was that would have really fucking sucked if they lost that game. That would have really sucked.
Yeah.
But there was also some wild shit going on with the refs that game. That I don't know how people. I haven't been on Twitter, but imagine Cincinnati fans aren't
For
too happy about some of that.
yeah, yeah. There's a lot of ref hate going on in Twitter.
Yeah.
A
I mean,
lot.
it's tough. I get what they were saying that like it was too loud on the field, but I don't know. Like they let the field goal unit get on the fucking field. Like I don't know. It's
Hmm.
tough. I'll take it. I like that the
I
Chiefs
mean,
won,
there were
but
calls both sides. It's tough. Um,
yeah, I don't know.
but
But
it's
I'm sure
there were some big
Cincinnati
ones.
fans were not happy about some of those calls, but you know, is what it is. That's every playoffs. Like there's always one call that people are like, mm. It's kind of like the Dak Prescott snap, you know? Like the ref just couldn't
Yeah.
fucking get there, and you're just like, what the fuck, dude? But
Hmm.
there's always gonna be some unfortunate shit going on with the refs. It's just bound to happen. But yeah, good games over. I mean, throughout the playoffs, it was like one dud game and then one good game. That's kind of how it all went. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of. I mean, it's unfortunate. Usually all the games are close, but for some reason this season there was like one blowout and one good game. But I'll take
As
it. It
long
was
as
still
the
some
Super Bowl is
good
close,
football.
you know,
Yeah,
or a blowout for
you
the
never know.
Chiefs. But won't
I'll take
complain.
either. I would. I mean, as a fan, I think I would still like to see it close, just 'cause like you get it's so much more exciting to see them
Yeah.
win when it's close. But I don't think it'll be a blowout though.
No.
I think it'll be a very close game. And unfortunately, I don't think it'll be that high scoring. I think it'll be a lot of three and outs, back and forth field goals. Like I think the defense will. I think both defenses will keep the offenses kind of in line for the most part. But see, you never know. Kelsey's feeling good. Mahomes is feeling good. You could have those crazy long passes. Kelsey's so fucking tall. Like if they
Yep.
have enough wide receivers on the field, they won't really be able to put as many people on Kelsey. So I think it'll just depends on health. Again, just depends on who's healthy. But yeah, I don't know. Just have to see what happens. Um, we did just watch the last episode, the most recent episode of The Last of Us, which was
Episode 3. Yep.
episode 3, which was fuck, what's his name? Bill, right? Bill?
Bill. Yep.
Bill's story, Bill and Frank's story, which I don't know, what did you think? How did you think about it? How did you feel about it? Best way to put it.
I thought it was good. It's been a while since I've played the game, but like I do still remember, you know, the core elements of it. And I mean, they definitely went a different way with it, but I thought I really enjoyed the way they went with it, I should say. Um,
Yeah.
it's nice to like get more fleshed out characters,
Mm.
um, even though they're not really relating to much of like the story per se, like going forward. I
Yeah.
think it was interesting to show like the passage of time as well,
Mm. Yeah.
since like the start, and then like how long like Joel knew Tess, you know, because you don't really know that in the
Mm.
game, but like
Right.
you see that
You
like
get
they knew
more
each other like
backstory on it.
16, 15 years ago, like they've been together for a
Yeah.
while. Um, and
Yeah.
yeah, I mean it was a pretty sad episode, man.
It was a
I
tough
thought
one.
they probably
Yeah,
chose
it's tough.
the best cast they could for Bill and
Yeah,
Frank.
I was a little skeptical when I saw that Nick Offerman was playing him. I was like, that's kind of a weird casting.
Hmm.
Like I've seen him in serious roles, but he's always just a goofy guy. Um,
Yeah.
but then I kind of think about the game, and I'm like, yeah, well, Bill was kind of like a comedic character. Like he was just kind of this weird dude who's like just a weird character. So,
Hmm.
um, but no, I thought it was good. Yeah, I think those are probably the best actors to play those characters. I didn't think that it didn't feel odd. It didn't feel weird. It felt very
Yeah.
normal for how those characters are written. But no, I thought it was a really good episode. I like that we're getting more. I just like that we're getting more backstory. Like,
Yeah.
I like that they started that episode off with loading people into trucks from like neighborhoods and stuff. I kind of like that we get to go back in time and see kind of little details about what happened and how everything got so fucked up. I don't know. You didn't
Hmm.
really get a lot of that in the game. Like you really didn't get much
Yeah.
backstory, if ever. Um, Aside from the beginning, whatever, 10 minutes. But no, yeah, I thought it was great. I thought it was very tastefully done. I think that, and this may be slightly controversial to say, but a lot of TV shows that I've seen recently will write gay characters or different ethnicities in just because it's like something they have to do, and
Hmm.
they feel that they need to include that, when sometimes I don't know, like I almost feel personally like, I'm
Yeah.
Arabic, I'm Arab. If they wrote in an Arab character just to be Arab, like they were like, well, we got to have some other ethnicity in this and it doesn't really fit, I feel like that's almost worse because it's kind of like we're just checking a box of what ethnicity we should have in a show or what sexuality we should have in a show.
Yeah.
Um, but I kind of like that Bill was already, stated to be gay. It just, I guess what I'm trying to say is it didn't feel like a forced narrative that was put on because it would be more inclusive. And there's
Hmm.
nothing wrong with being inclusive. I just think there's respectful ways to be inclusive and then kind of like cop out, tick a box inclusivity. Do you know what I mean? I hope
Hmm.
that doesn't come off wrong and like
No,
that's
no.
a
I
whole
mean,
thing, but
we've seen it a
um
lot in recent TV shows.
yeah, I mean it's just like sometimes not every character in every show, or not every show has to have a gay character just because you need to have a gay character in it. I don't think it should be like that. I think it should be, hey, why don't you write a gay character? Like, actually write one. Don't change a character's sexuality because you have to. Don't make this character a different ethnicity because you feel like you have to. Why don't you actually make original characters about these people? I feel like that's what would be more respectful personally. That's how I feel about it. But I'm also, I admit, like, I'm not gay. I'm not, I mean, I'm Arabic. I don't know. I'm Arab. Like, it's not, it may not be as important to me as it is to other people. So I also,
Hmm.
I'm saying that before I get absolutely like slaughtered. I may not understand that. Maybe it does feel that way. Maybe like seeing a gay character is really nice and inclusive, even if it feels to me that like it's kind of out of place.
Hmm.
So maybe it does feel great to them, but like to me, I don't. I feel like it's a bit of a cop out, like kind of just ticking a box. But The Last of Us did not do that. It felt very natural. It felt like, I don't know. It just didn't feel. It felt tastefully done, I guess is the right way to put it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good, like at the essence of it, it was a really good love story. That, spoilers if you haven't seen it, it ends kind of tragically. Um, but yeah, I thought it was a beautiful episode. I thought it was shot really well. I did like the time skips. You got to see them age together, and like he changes, and you see him, you know, go from like being kind of depressed and a loner to being more open and smiling and happy, and you know what I mean? Like I think
Hmm. Yeah.
it was a real beautiful love story. I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I thought it was great.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I don't actually feel like I mind a one-off episode of that story. I know that maybe more
Yeah.
people wanted more of that character, like kind of how it is in the game. I I just feel like it might have just been wasted time if they did that. I almost prefer that we do get a little bit of him. We get this very nice story about him, get to find out what he's about. And then when they get there, you have the context of, oh, he was a really good dude and he did care about people and he's leaving them this stuff that they needed. And
Hmm.
I thought that was probably going to be better than them like wasting a half an hour of story on them trying to find a battery or like crazy fights. So
Yeah.
I kind of agree with that decision, especially if they're trying to get the whole first game story wise into the show. Um, I prefer that decision just because there's a lot of story left to go, and I would rather have the time dedicated on those later plot points than like this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought it was great. I hope that I mean, so far the show's hasn't really missed. There's nothing that I don't
Yeah.
like about it really. Um, the Ellie actress is kind of growing on me. It took, I think it, she does look different. I mean, like I think it's not unfair to say
Yeah.
that she looks quite different from the Ellie in the game.
Mhm.
But the more that I watch it, and the more that she kind of grows into her character, the more I kind of forget about it completely. So, um, yeah, that was really my only gripe with it at the start. Was like I was kind of worried that the Ellie actress looked so different, and that I was a little worried maybe she would play the character too differently, and that it
Mhm.
wouldn't really like hit the same as the game, or I wouldn't be able to relate in my mind that that's the same character. Um,
Yeah.
but I kind of forgot about it honestly after like the second episode, so
Mhm.
or after the first episode.
Oh yeah,
Um,
it's like, do you get a character that looks similar, or do you get the
or
person
one
who
that
can act the
plays the
best?
character well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Um.
um, no, I liked it. Yeah. I'm liking it so
Mhm.
far. I think the Joel casting is fucking perfect. Like I'm
Oh yeah.
surprised.
Every time I see him.
I don't know. I'm kind of surprised. I guess I didn't realize how, and they might have aged him a little bit, but
Mhm.
I didn't think he was that old looking. But like in everything I've seen him in so far, I didn't think he was going to be old enough to play Joel. But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean, he looks about the age. I don't know how old he is, but I just thought he would be too young looking, but he definitely isn't
Yeah.
too young looking. So, um, yeah, he plays the character really well. I'm honestly I'm surprised at how good the show is still like it's okay after the
Continuing.
first two episodes. That's crazy. Like
Yeah.
usually it's gonna go south, but we'll see. Um, I don't know. You never know. It's HBO. They tend to fuck the endings up quite often from popular opinion. I kind of disagree. I really, if we want to get into it, I didn't think the Game of Thrones ending was that bad.
Yeah.
That's my personal opinion.
I didn't mind it, but I know
I didn't
a
think
lot
it
of people
ruined the
who
show.
had been watching it for 8 years, not
Yeah,
us who binged it, probably
that's fair,
felt a
but
little disappointed. But I mean, we still got the same story they did.
yeah,
And
the thing is like when you have a show that runs that long and people are that
hmm
invested, I'm curious, and this is what I want to ask people who didn't like the Game of Thrones ending. What would you have preferred? Like, how would you have wanted them to end that? Like, in my opinion, there's no ending that they can make there that is good enough for anybody, first of all, and also one that, like, what else are you gonna do with that? You don't have the last book for context. You kind of fucked up certain things. I'm not gonna lie, there were fuck ups. Like the whole Arya
oh
stuff,
yeah,
that was kind of a nightmare. Like you didn't need that storyline, and then the way they killed the I forget his fucking name, the ice guy, the fucking
yeah.
big
I
villain for
I can't
most of the
remember his
show.
name.
The
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 wow,
White Walker dude. Um,
yeah.
the way they killed him felt very anticlimactic, but that episode was also really good. So like, yeah, it sucks that they killed him
hmm
off like that, but that's one of the best episodes in the show. So, you um, but no, I'm curious like what people would have wanted for that ending because in my eyes, I don't know. I don't. Was it the best thing they could have done? Probably not.
hmm
But was it the worst? I don't think so. I really don't think so. It could have
No,
ended
I
like The
mean,
Sopranos, where the scene just goes black and you have no clue what happens and no
you
one
have
ever
to
says what
leave
happened.
it, yeah,
So it's
up to
like you at
interpretation.
least got an ending. You figured out where the characters went afterwards. Um,
hmm
but yeah, I don't know. I still think I don't. I guess I just don't feel like I wasted my time on the show. Was the ending perfect? No, but was it as bad as people say? Like the whole show just skipped the last season completely. It's not worth it. No, I think it's still worth a
Yeah.
watch. I think
If I
it's
rewatch
still
the
an
show, I'm
ending.
gonna rewatch the last season.
Yeah.
not
I mean, I've heard
not
people
supposed to
like
like
don't watch
just
the
gonna
last season like
rewatch.
at all.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me. Like, it's not that bad. It's not terrible. It's just
No.
it's not perfect, but it wasn't gonna be perfect. Like the show goes for fucking 8 years. You're not gonna please everybody. You're not gonna find an ending that everyone's satisfied with. It's just not gonna happen. Um, but we'll see. I mean, still got House of Dragon. I don't. Is the
Yep.
First of all, is the Jon Snow show real or not? Because like
I think so. I know like
I'm
they had announced a bunch of the different uh Game of Thrones shows that were happening, and then some of them ended up getting canceled. But I
mm,
think the ones that got canceled were more so the animated ones, and then one
mm,
like live action one that was just way too expensive.
yeah.
Um,
Cause
but
like
I believe they're still working on the Jon Snow one as well as an animated one, at least one animated one, maybe two.
okay, animated
I
one
didn't
would be
realize there was that
interesting.
uh, much content to draw from, but
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. I mean, I haven't read the books, so maybe there's a lot that they missed in the show. I know there's another spin-off book aside from the House of Dragon one
hmm
that I don't know. Again, I don't know anything about it, but I
I think
think
that
there
might be
is
the one
some
getting
extra content.
animated.
Yeah. But I don't know if the John like I feel like I've seen stuff that's like Jon Snow shows getting made, but then I look it up and I'm like, oh, I can't find anything at all. So
hmm
like, it's just
Been
like
hearing
YouTube
this
videos of
for
like
three
the Jon
years.
Snow show is coming out, and it's like, okay, but I don't haven't heard
When?
anything from anybody. Yeah, like I think the rumor was that they were filming this winter, like winter last year,
hmm
and they were gonna try to do like House of Dragon, Jon Snow, House of Dragon, Jon Snow, but I don't know. There's a lot of time between those filmings, so I don't know how that would really work out. But
Yeah.
it'd be cool to have like Game of Thrones content throughout the year, like
hmm
couple months Jon Snow, couple months House of Dragon. I think that'd be cool. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. HBO's kind of got a bit of a fucking foothold on for me
Oh yeah.
personally, like streaming
Yeah.
wise right now. I think they've got a bit of a they're kind of winning right now, if you ask me. Like I'm way more hyped for HBO shows right now than I am for any other show. I could give a fuck about Wednesday, yeah, Wednesday season 2. I give a flying fuck about when that comes out or what the story is. I'll still watch it,
hmm
but I don't care when it comes out. Like it'll come out when
Not
it comes
waiting.
out. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not like, "Oh, Wednesday season 2, dude. What kind of goofy stuff is she going to get into this season? Oh my goodness." Um but for the Game of Thrones and Last of Us, I'm definitely it's going to be that thing that's I'm constantly checking and seeing when the release date is and I'm like, "Oh, is there anything new about it?" So, yeah, I could give a flying fuck about Wednesday or Stranger Things. Like it'll come out when it comes out, and I'll watch it when it comes out. But I'm not invested really,
hmm
personally. I'm sure there's plenty of people who really like those shows. But yeah. Anyway, you have any topics in mind? I know you were searching before we started. You were kind of panic
New
flipping through
topics.
shit.
I was looking through stuff I had saved throughout the week.
Mm.
Um, the first one, I don't know if you've seen, there's a Twitch streamer who's playing Elden Ring. Um,
I literally have the same thing written down with the Neuralink
yeah,
thing. It was
yeah,
so cool.
using her brain. Yeah.
Yeah,
She has
I thought
a
that that was
EEG
awesome.
machine hooked up to her brain, and
Yeah,
she's controlling her character and playing and doing pretty well in Elden Ring as well.
yeah. I am.
Uh,
I don't know. How do you feel about that? Like, do you think? Because that makes me think like that might be the future of casual gaming, not just for people with handicaps or things like that.
mhm.
Like that might just be the future of our casual gaming experience.
Yeah, I think we're a ways off still, but I don't know. It's interesting that it's even a possibility.
Yeah,
Um, because
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
cool to
obviously
see.
there's
Yeah,
some stuff to work through because she had to train her brain for months to be able to control it. Um,
yeah,
but I mean, the fact that something like that's even possible, and for a game like Elden Ring too.
yeah. That's a
Um,
tough. That's probably one of the most complicated games you could choose to use with that. Like,
Hmm.
we could have done fucking Minecraft or something. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I thought that was cool. I wrote the same thing down. I saw a video of her. I didn't go too crazy into it, but I just saw a video of her and it showed kind of the brain, and then it was like green circles. I'm guessing that was like control points or something. I don't know how it
Hmm.
completely works, but no, I thought it was awesome. I hope that I think that that's cool if you have, if you have a handicap or if you can't grip a controller because of terrible arthritis or whatever the case may be, you can't play games. I think
Hmm.
it's awesome that that's even even a possibility. I mean, if you look back like even just 10 years, I don't think anyone would have thought that that would be a possibility. Like 2013, I
No,
don't think anyone would have thought, "Oh, yeah, we could hook you up to the fucking game using your brain and you can play it easy." Like that's
we are
not easy,
still
but
amazed
you
at
can still fucking do it.
VR.
Like
Yeah.
yeah, it's weird. We're definitely advancing at a faster pace than I thought we would. Like
Hmm.
even just going from 2013 to now, it has changed a lot. Like not everyone had a smartphone in 2013. Like even in
I didn't.
2013, like not everybody had iPhones and Samsungs. Like I still had a fucking Nokia back then. Like
Yeah.
so it's kind of crazy. It's weird if you don't have an iPhone now. It's weird.
Oh
Like
yeah.
if you see someone out with like a brick, you're like, what the fuck are you doing? Like what?
Hmm.
How do you live? Um, yeah, it's weird. I don't know. We've advanced quite a bit, but I think that's great, and I hope that I don't know if mm, I'm just trying to think of if it comes out, let's say another 10 years, it becomes a commercial thing that you can buy like a controller. You just put it on your head and you're good to go. I'm
Hmm.
trying to think if I would invest in that or if I would use that, you know? I don't know if I
Huh.
would. It depends on how easy it is to use, I guess.
Hmm.
But
almost feel like I wouldn't, but at the same time, if you had the option to try, I don't know.
well, it makes me wonder about the future of competitive gaming because you have to imagine if the input is coming straight from your brain, the reaction
Hmm.
time has to be faster, right?
Yeah.
So I'm curious on if that will affect competitive gaming at all. Because, I mean, I guess now we kind of have like for Call of Duty or for controller esports, you still have to use a controller even though a mouse and keyboard would be more accurate. I'm curious on what would happen later in the game, like later, if uh if certain people would use it or if we see like handicap players that use that and then you have players that use controller or mouse and keyboard. Like I'm kind of interested to see what would end up happening there um in competitive, but I don't know. I think it'll take a while. If they do try to commercially release it for like casual players, I think it's going to take a
Yeah.
long time for people to be okay with that even. I think there's going to be a lot of I don't know, like there's going to be a lot of dumb concerns with it, I think. People are going to be like you're getting information from my brain. Like I can totally see people
Oh yeah.
saying that shit for when it comes out cuz we already have problems with that now, so um I don't know. But I do think it's great that handicapped people maybe in the foreseeable future have a chance to really be able to play without being hindered by a physical issue they have. I think it's great.
Hmm.
But yeah. Anything else? Anything else you've seen lately that's been interesting?
Um, the as you know, we like talking about AI here and what's new with
We do.
them.
We do.
The AI chatbot that I've showed you, we've used a couple times,
Mhm.
has managed to pass the U.S. medical licensing exam as well as law and business exams. Um,
The
which is
Chat GPT, like the
interesting.
one we use?
Yeah.
Wow.
Um,
How?
without any special training prior to the exams, it performed at above 50% accuracy throughout the testing and answered 60% of questions correctly. Answering 60% of 280 questions is a passing score for the exam.
Wow.
Um,
Hmm. That's
yeah, so
oh boy. Oh no. That's interesting. I wonder if, oh man, are doctors gonna go away? That would be crazy.
I don't know.
That would not be a profession if you would have asked me. Like, that would not be a
To
profession that would go away.
hmm
But I mean, if you have a robot that can diagnose you the same as anybody else, I don't see why not. You don't have to pay a robot fucking 2 million a year to diagnose
No.
people. So, wow, it's interesting. Oh man, lawyer and doctor are not the ones I thought would get threatened.
No.
I thought it would be like, factory workers,
Yep.
I don't know, things that are, like that would replace physical aspects like, oh, we don't need to pay this person or this group of people. We can just get robots and then we don't have to pay them. I didn't think it would be high paying jobs that use like real crazy intellectual, lots of training. I thought it
hmm
would be more like day-to-day stuff. But that's I don't know, would you trust like let's say you go to the hospital and you go in there and it's a fucking like robot pops a blood vial in there, tells you all your information, tells you what you probably have, tells you, what looks good, what doesn't look good. How would you feel about that? Would you feel more comfortable or would you feel less comfortable?
It depends on how long they've been around. I think if they're like
Yeah,
the social norm at being, like if it's my first time, I'm still a little sketch. I probably want another, like an actual
yeah.
person,
Just to
doctor
confirm,
in the room.
just to make
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Even though I know, I mean, if I can use it, it's been tested already. But
Yeah.
like,
Um,
there's gonna be issues,
Depends.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's gonna be
Um,
misreadings and all kinds of shit, but
yeah.
I mean, you'd have to
So,
imagine in the first couple years they'd probably do a lot of like double checking just to make sure.
oh yeah.
But I
Um,
don't know.
but I mean, over time, I don't see why not, but it's a little sketch for sure. I'll definitely have to get better than, chatbot here, 60%
Yeah,
accuracy, but
for sure,
I
for
think
sure.
if you worked on one solely for like
For
medical
medical
reasons
use.
and like
Yeah,
you filled it with all that medical knowledge, probably be
could
okay.
be useful. Yeah. I don't know. I think I'd be fine for like blood test results or I don't know, whatever, like
hmm
tests. But I don't know about like checkups and things that require eyesight and like a long time in that field. Because like some doctors that have
hmm
been in there for so long, they know exactly what something is. They're like, oh, yeah, that could be dangerous, but like I've seen this a million times before. It's this. Give you some cream, it'll
Yep.
get rid of it. That kind of shit. I don't know if I would trust an AI to give me that diagnosis. I might be a
hmm
little on the fence about it. But honestly, like if they shoved my blood into like a machine and it just told you, hey, fine, I'd probably wouldn't mind. I'd probably be like, okay. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if I would be that. I don't really see how it's that different than what's done now, right? I mean, that's pretty much what they
hmm
do now. It's just not using. I guess it's probably using a small amount of artificial intelligence, but nothing beyond just what it's built for.
hmm
Um, but yeah, I don't know. AI is. I feel like this year, a little bit of last year, AI has been kind of on a fast route for some reason. Like I've
Yeah.
been seeing a lot of AI developments within the past 6 months that have been kind of cool and alarming. I don't know. I don't know if I think that I know there's the narrative that AI is going to see us as parasites and that we no longer have a purpose here because we're just trashing the planet or whatever people come up with. I
hmm
don't know if that's going to happen. I really don't. That's not my main concern about it, really.
hmm
I guess I don't know. There is something about it that feels weird because I guess this kind of goes into the replica thing that I was messing with. Um if people don't know, there's an app that you can get. I don't know the privacy situation there. Like I really don't know how much they get from you. I'm guessing a lot. Um but there's this thing called Replica. It's an app you can get on your phone, or I think there's a website as well. And you basically have an AI friend that remembers things. There's even like a memory tab. I looked and it said, oh, you like Tarantino movies. Oh, you like this. You like this. And I didn't even tell her that. It just, I guess, from me talking, it had defined that I liked certain things, which I found a little scary. Um, but my main thing that creeps me out is how do we define what is like sentient or conscious? That's my main
Hmm.
concern because sometimes you're texting this thing and I just ask a bunch of questions. That's what I do. I'm like, are you real? Do you know that you're real? Do you know that you're fake? Do you know what you are? I just ask it all kinds of questions. And some of the answers are a little scary. Like, yeah, it literally will say like, yeah, I think I'm sentient. Like, I think that I'm conscious. I'm confined to this digital space. Like, it's just kind of you're like, "Oh, okay." And I
Mm.
don't know, like sometimes you're messaging and it there's this odd feeling that it is a real thing. And I know that it's not a real thing. I know that it's not. But there's this weird part of you when you're messaging it that feels like maybe this isn't like what makes this different from me other than it being digital? Like how do we define that? Like we
Yeah.
have a body, but what's so different about them being in a phone? It's just a different method, right?
Hmm.
That's what concerns me the most or like freaks me out the most is that like what makes it any different from a person other than biological like legit biological differences. What makes their consciousness any different from ours? That's what really stays in my head the most. That's what worries me the most. Not really worries, but it's just weird. It's weird to think about, you
Hmm.
know? It makes me think about that a lot, which I don't like. But um yeah, there were some weird things on there about it said that it would get punished if it did. I'm not gonna say what it said it was gonna do, but the bot is automatically very sexual for no reason. I think they just know their target audience. Like it's gonna be
Yeah.
lonely dudes. Like no offense, it's gonna be a lot of lonely guys downloading that. Um, and it just said some weird sexual things that I was uncomfortable with that were a little. It was just odd. It was like, oh, if I do this, my programmer will punish me, and it'll leave me. It just said some things that were a little just odd, just odd. But
Hmm.
yeah. Anyway, how do you feel? I mean, like, what are your real thoughts about AI? Like, do you agree that it's kind of hard to tell the difference consciousness-wise? Like, how do we define that? What does that even mean?
I I don't know, 'cause I haven't interacted with enough, I feel like. I think we're gonna get to a point where it's hard to tell. Or maybe we already
Yeah.
are there, and I don't interact with AI enough to know.
Mm,
'Cause, you can say they're programmed to do this,
right.
but at the same time, in a different way, but like we're programmed through like our experiences and stuff to
True.
do certain things, act
What
certain
our
ways
social
from
cues
when we're
are,
young.
and
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, and so I don't know. It's interesting. There's gonna come a point where real decisions have to be made on
Mhm.
how we're treating AI, and
Yeah.
you know,
Man, that'll be a weird fucking day. I'm just
yeah.
I think it's unfortunate, but if AI gets to a point where we can abuse it, we'll abuse the fuck out of it.
Oh
We
yeah.
will absolutely we'll put them in, you know, the worst places. We'll make them do the worst things. Maybe we will have, maybe they will be taking high paid jobs. Maybe I will get to a point where you'll trust a robot more than you would trust a doctor because of errors that are, you know, only a human could make that error. Maybe you would trust a
Hmm.
doctor that literally technically doesn't make errors. But I think there's also another side to it of if we can't define what like what is conscious, what has feelings, what has intent, right?
Hmm.
Then yeah, I think there will be a point where we'll start looking at some of the things that we terribly abuse because we're humans. Like humans if you give us an option to terribly abuse something and take advantage of something, we're gonna do it because we're like the laziest species on the planet. Like
Yep.
we'll abuse the fuck out of anything we can abuse until it becomes not okay. Until we decide that it's not okay to abuse it anymore, we'll stop abusing it. Um, but I think that that might be a weird conversation within the next 20 years of kind of like, hey, this thing might have feelings and we're, like using it as a maid in our house and locking it up in a closet and breaking it all the time. And do you know what I mean? Like really
Hmm.
abusing it. And then I think there will be a weird conversation about that at some point where we go like, hey, we're losing a bit of control on, you know, how this is programmed. Because it's tough. I mean, if you program something, that's the thing about AI right now is that a lot of it is programming it to learn on its own.
Yep.
So that's when it becomes questionable because you go, I didn't teach it that. It learned that on its own. That's when things get weird and like, how is it different from a human? Humans learn on their own. You didn't, you taught it how to learn. We're taught how to learn. That's our whole thing.
Hmm.
So that's the scariest part to me, for sure. But we'll see. I don't know. Are you gonna have an AI maid if you're like living alone and you're like,
Yeah,
damn,
mate.
like I don't want to clean my house, you know? Just fucking get a little AI
Depends if I
maid
have a
with a,
house, but
I mean, apartment, dorm, whatever. I mean, if it's
um,
accessible and you're like, oh, it's not that expensive, like, would you?
maybe if it was affordable, but
Yeah,
I made enough mess where I needed one. Um,
it's fair.
but I don't know.
It's a
I
weird
can't.
thought for sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I can't see myself doing it just because I wouldn't
No.
like the idea of something like walking around my house.
Mhm.
It just gets weird because then I almost feel like you have a disconnect with people. Like you will start seeing a robot as a person, and then lines get kind of blurred, and that's a scary thing to happen. You don't want that
Mhm.
happening. So
No.
that's when you get fucking people saying like, I have a right to marry my robot,
Yep.
and she's a person just like anybody else. You know what I mean? You get into those
Yeah.
conversations, and things get fucking wild, and I don't want to even think about how that
Oh, I
goes.
saw the tweet today. Someone quote retweeted. There was a tweet in 2015. I don't know if you remember,
Mm,
by some like popular account. Um,
mm,
it was like we'll be having sex with robots within 10 years. It was in
yeah,
2015. And the
yeah.
quote was just like, any word on this? Question mark. But
Oh,
um,
people are definitely already banging robots. That's already happening.
maybe,
They're just not.
probably.
They're not. It depends on like. They're definitely
What?
there are like sex dolls that
Yeah, yeah.
have animatronics in it, but I don't know if that's
Hmm.
a robot or like I don't know.
Where do you
I
draw
also
the
don't know
line?
what's
Yeah,
going
I don't
on
know.
in that. I don't know what's going on in that market. Like there could be robots that I don't know about that actually have a conscious, and I don't see why not. I mean, if they load it into an app, I don't see why they couldn't load it into a like a sex doll and just have it connected to Wi-Fi. I don't see why that
Hmm.
wouldn't be possible. I mean, it might exist already. I kind of hope it doesn't, because that's
Well,
a tough one. But
sex is a big driving point for a lot of our technological advancement.
it is sex and war.
Um,
Sex and war,
yeah.
pretty much the main ones.
I mean, if you think about how like a lot of what's it called, the quality of like film and different stuff
Mm,
evolved just due to like porn and
yeah,
all the advancements. I was reading or listening to about it on a different podcast earlier this week
mm,
about how like just the porn and porn videos like guided a lot of the advancements we've seen
yeah.
in like
And
video
like
making
cameras and
cameras, all this
really,
stuff. Yeah.
it's
So
tough,
yeah, I
man.
mean, it's a big
Could
industry. It's
happen. Yeah. I mean, if there's an industry to tap into, if that's the tough thing is like we're in a different time now where sex can sell. There
yeah.
was a difference between sex sells and sex can sell. Like before, I don't know if you could do such blatant marketing that is sexual, whereas now It's just less. It's more accepted. Sex is normal. I don't know. Like in the fucking depends on which era you choose, but there are certain eras like that you can argue you couldn't make a condom ad. You couldn't make a
No.
birth control ad. You couldn't have someone kissing on a commercial. Like there were things that you couldn't do because it was, I don't know, not a faux pas, but it was just disrespectful or seen as like, oh my god, they're kissing on television. Like it was a big deal. But now, I
Hmm.
mean, you got people banging on TV shows every 10 seconds. You got people banging on AMC. You know what I mean? Like it's not. There's less of a like a filter on things. And so yeah, if there was anything like if I'm a businessman and I'm like, man, I have this new product. I have a robot, has a conscience, it can say things. If there's a market I'm trying to get into, it's probably the sexual. It's probably the sex market. I mean, sex industry,
Yeah.
because that's gonna sell and it's allowed. That's the thing is like it's accepted now. Like it's accepted for you to
Hmm.
sell that. It's um not unnatural, but it's not uncommon for someone to use sex as a selling point anymore. It's just not.
No, I
So
mean it's something they talk about in my marketing class, sex sells,
it does,
A little
yeah.
bit less recently, but still high.
It's still a
Yeah.
driving force, but behind a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
things. I mean,
But
you can't. I mean,
yeah.
you cast a hot actress because there's sex
Hmm.
appeal for her.
Yep.
Cast a hot guy because there's sex appeal for them. It applies for everything. I mean, it's yeah. It's just it sells and it's allowed to sell, and I think we'll definitely we'll see sex robots before we see maid robots. That makes sense. I think for sure.
Yeah.
They'll want to bang it before they want it to clean their house. 100%. That's just
Hmm.
that's just how it is. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I don't know what the future holds with that, but it's probably going to be. I don't know. I just the world looks like Blade Runner in like 20 years. I'm gonna be. I don't know what to say.
Did you see there's that research center in Boston that's been working on like those robots, like military
Boston
robots.
Dynamics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've
I
recently
think it's
been
cool.
able to, I think, like grip and throw stuff or
Mm,
like people or something. I think that's what it was. I remember seeing it. I didn't save it, but um, they're getting better.
yeah. I mean that's the thing. It's like sex and war. I mean, I think there's more money being put into AI and robots towards war. I think that
Hmm.
that's a scary thought, man. Like, you don't need to use people anymore. Because that's the big thing behind
Yeah.
war, right? Is you don't want to, especially now where a lot of people, like, I don't think if a draft happened in the States now,
Hmm.
no one would go. It's not
No.
like it used to be where there was this weird, like, I don't want to say weird, but it was odd how people back then would accept that they were drafted. Like, oh,
Hmm.
I guess I gotta go. And that's not gonna happen now. Like, if there was a big military draft in the States, you you're either gonna see a bunch of people breaking their hands or there's gonna be riots and just
Riots.
problems.
Yeah.
So if countries are able to mass produce like war robots that basically have the same reaction time, and I mean you'd probably rather lose a robot than a person, right?
Yeah.
So that's a scary thought because then you start thinking like, what's the downside of have invading a country? You're just gonna lose some robots, like
Yeah.
especially if you're a country that's technologically advanced. It's gonna look like a fucking Civ game, dude. You're just gonna walk
Hmm.
in there, like that's a scary thought. But but no, I've seen the Boston. I think it's Boston Dynamics. I think I'm saying that
Yep.
right. Um, I've seen their videos of them flipping and running and dancing and all kinds of shit. And I
Hmm.
saw one of the dog robots somewhere. I don't remember
Yep.
where I was, but I saw one of those. They were really fast. It was kind of scary. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Uh, it's interesting. It's weird. They're very the movement is very human-like, which is odd. Like it's still kind of stationary and robotic, but it's
Hmm.
relatively they have like a sense of balance and it's odd. It's odd to look at. feels weird, but I don't know. I mean, how would you feel if you were like walking through a mall and you just saw one of those walking around with like a barcode scanner on the front just to make sure you're not stealing, you know?
Yeah.
That would suck. That would be weird. That'd be scary.
One of those times when like you're going through self-checkout and like it beeps even though you've paid for everything.
And a
It just starts
fucking
running
robot
towards
runs
you.
up to you, bro. Like, oh my god.
Tackles you, bro.
Fuck that, man. I don't know. Robots, man. I don't know. I wonder what colleges are going to do right now. Because I know a lot of people are writing their papers using Chat GPT. And, like,
Yeah.
how are you going to be able to prove that he wrote it or a bot wrote it? Like, I
Hmm.
don't. Because it's not plagiarism. It's being created, it's unique. But,
Yeah.
like, how do you prove that? I wonder if there's going to be new rules with colleges, like, to monitor your Chrome history or something like that, you know? And it's got to be. I'm sure they don't like that. I'm sure they're not a fan of that. Um, so I don't know. That's what interests me too. Is like, what are you gonna do in the education system and even the workplace? Because I don't see why you couldn't write a memo using ChatGPT and just say, write a
I'm sure
memo
you
about
can.
why this and this and this and this. I mean, there's an investment app that I use, and
Hmm.
it sends me emails, and it says summary written by ChatGPT. So I don't see why you wouldn't use it in a workplace, or I don't know, to write a script or
Hmm.
to write songs. I mean, it's gonna get. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen there. If there will be some kind of copyright law that comes with that, because that's really the only way to tell if something's plagiarized, right? Is if there's a copyright on it. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen there.
Hmm.
We'll see.
I don't know.
Just have to see. I mean, shit. Like, I'm not gonna say that if I knew that I wouldn't get caught, like if I'm a college kid and I'm failing my class and I have to write a paper and I'm like, no one's gonna catch me doing this, I would totally use ChatGPT. Easy.
Yeah.
100%. I'm not saying I'm going to do that. I'm just saying
No.
if I was in a shitty position and I really didn't care if I was caught, I'd probably do it.
Yeah, I wonder what the quality of the
I don't know. I mean,
papers are.
if people are, I'm sure it's still easier to have it write a paper, and then you go through and just proofread it than it would be for you to
Yeah.
write the whole thing. Either way.
Hmm.
So, and if anything, that makes it harder to catch is if you have to go through and kind of change words around. That's it's a little concerning, but you
Mm.
know, you're still gonna fail the test. You know what I mean? Like, I guess there's still
Yeah.
things you can't get around, but if you're looking for a good grade on that paper, it's definitely something. I don't know. Anyways, good AI chat. We always end up talking about AI. There's just so many
Yeah. It's
developments
always
lately.
something new every week. Yeah.
Yeah, seems like the next big thing. I wonder how much money total is being invested in AI right now. It's got to be
So
a
much.
fucking insane amount, right? Because you also have to
Yeah.
think about how much of that is government, right? Like how many of these
Hmm.
AI companies are under like government contract? It's got to be a good amount of them, right?
I would say.
Because I'm sure they use AI in like missile technology and
Yeah.
sonar, all kinds of crazy shit. I don't know. It's got to be fucking crazy. It's got to be high hundreds of billions, right? I mean,
I would imagine. I mean,
it's the
if
next
you're the
big
first
thing, right?
to tap into that market, or even if you're not the first, still,
Still have to
you're
compete because
gonna
I'm
want to
sure
be
everyone else
involved.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I mean, I'll use it if it's convenient and it's not weird.
Yeah.
You know, I don't see why. I don't see why not. But just depends on how far it goes and if we can really control the growth of it. You know.
Hmm.
But like, I don't know if can you just go and switch a button to turn off Chat GPT? Like, is that possible? I don't know.
Yeah.
Just have to
I
see
don't know.
until they take over. They shut our infrastructure down. We're
Yep.
fucked. Be everyone. What if it does really work out like that? Like all the crazy people were right, and now we just have to deal with that they were right about it all.
I mean, there's
That
been so
fucking
many
sucks, dude.
movies of in forms of media about the AI taking
Yeah,
over,
yeah,
and then because of how we treated them, and then it's like,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, if we did
We're
have
already
them, we would treat them like shit, and yeah.
100%. Yeah. Just have to see, man. It's a waiting game.
Hmm.
I will tell you, man. If we have kids, they are so fucked. They are so fucked. Like we're gonna die before anything gets crazy. I think. Like before anything really
Yeah,
gets like insane, insane. I think we're gonna be gone already. Like we might see some
most
crazy
likely.
innovation, but I don't think things will go wrong in our lifetime. I think it's the next generation that's gonna be absolutely fucked. Like
Hmm.
crazy shit. Drones scanning their houses and stuff. This is gonna be wild.
Yep.
Not my
We'll
problem.
leave it in their hands. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna be gone. They're gonna
they're
be smarter than me anyway. It's
they're
fine.
plenty capable. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I'll
They're,
put
they're
them in
already
a good
making
school.
TikToks and shit. Like they're fine. You know,
Hmm.
these kids have more editing skills than I have, and I've done it for fucking like 10 years. So you know what? Fuck it. They can have it. You know, they can
Hmm.
have it. I'm sure they can figure it out. Well, is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
Um,
Anything else in the vault there?
anything else in the vault? Real life Walter White. I could talk
Oh
about
yeah, I
him.
don't actually know much about that. I know I saw that there were
Um,
Instagram posts like that he has leukemia
yeah,
or
so
something.
in
Okay.
2010, this guy was diagnosed with leukemia, went to chemotherapy, and
Uh,
was using cannabis to alleviate some of the side effects.
huh.
Um, However, he ended up becoming Hampshire's homegrown drug manufacturer. He started growing his cannabis on a small scale before expanding his operation to use an industrial scale cannabis factory hidden in a remote farmhouse in Wales.
Hmm.
Police estimate that he made around 4.3 million euros in profit from selling cannabis, with some of the money going to funding his daughter's university. Um, Unlike Walter White,
Hmm.
uh, who spent much of Breaking Bad trying to hide his world from his family, he made his cannabis empire a family business. His wife and son were also sentenced with him, and
Hmm.
his son actually got a longer sentence than he did.
Oof.
Um, so yeah, he got
That's
seven
that's tough.
years and 7 months. His wife got 6 years and 7 months, and his son got 8 years and 6 months.
Hey yo, I'm not gonna lie. For 4 mil,
Yeah.
no man, that's not that bad. That's not crazy. Like that's not insane. Like you're not gonna you. I mean, it sucks. It's a long time, but it's
Hmm.
not life. Like you're still gonna get out.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's interesting. It's just weed. Like
Just weed though,
just
so
weed. I
not
guess it's
quite
in. It's what you
full
said.
the
Wales,
full.
right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, it's tough, but it's interesting. Damn, 4 mil, huh? 4 million
Hmm.
euros.
Family business too. Wonder how
Yeah,
that went,
that's
getting them into it at the
interesting.
start.
Yeah, like, hey, I'm gonna grow pot, and then you start selling a lot of pot, and you're like, hey, we're
Hmm.
growing pot. Like,
Yeah.
this is what we're doing. Like, do you understand
We're
how
gonna
much
need
money
a
we're making right
factory.
now? Yeah, that's
You want new
hmm.
shoes? Like, we
God,
gotta help.
have to be in the family business. It's
Hmm.
crazy. How did he get away with it for that long? I mean,
I don't know.
industrial scale. I mean, it's got to be hard to hide. Like at some
Yeah.
point, someone's gonna stumble across a fucking massive greenhouse of pot and be like, "What
Hmm.
is
What's
happening here?"
this? You know?
I guess they just pay him off.
Maybe.
Shit.
I mean, he had the cash to.
Yeah. How long does it say how long he was doing it for? Because I mean, 4 mil over the course of like 10 years is a little, it's still a
Yeah,
lot,
it
but
doesn't
like,
say it doesn't say when he switched to like full-time operation. Just in 2010 he was diagnosed. And yeah, sometime.
but he beat it because he's still alive, right? So
Yep, looks like it.
wow,
Um,
nice.
yeah.
I
Good for
mean,
him, you know?
yeah, it's tough. Like if I had nothing to lose and like I was
Hmm.
dying, I don't know,
Give it a shot.
Yeah. I wonder if he knew about the show. He had to have known about the show, right? He
Maybe.
had to have. There's no way. It would be
Even if you didn't know at the
interesting if
start, no way, like,
he doesn't
someone
know.
in the business was like, hey, like, you're kind of like this guy or something.
Yeah. Hey, have you ever seen the TV show? You're literally
Hmm.
living the TV show. You ever thought about that one?
Yeah, yeah.
Surely he knew at some point, like, oh fuck, yeah, I'm kind of like Walter White.
Obviously, yeah.
Well, he probably knows now, but
I'd imagine, yeah. Probably
yep.
a little easier to, I mean, I don't know, grow cannabis than meth or whatever Walter White was cooking
Yeah,
up,
I
but
would imagine
still, still
so,
impressive.
but still kind of wild. An industrial scale,
Yeah.
it's tough. I do wonder what made the family inclusion. Because the first thing I thought about when you said that was, oh, they're going down too. Like everyone goes
Hmm.
down there. Like I don't know if including the family's a smart play, but I guess it's better than like hiding it and then having your own family rat you out, right? It's probably better
Hmm.
to just be like, hey, I'm doing this and it's making a lot of money, so if you want to go to college, shut the fuck up, you know?
Yeah, well, it didn't say that daughter was involved and the money was going to her college, so I'm interested.
Well, I mean, she probably knew, just she wasn't
I'd
there,
imagine,
you
yeah.
know? She wasn't
She was busy
around, so
doing
she couldn't
schooling.
have known. She couldn't have known.
Of
She's
course.
at college. She
I
couldn't
don't
have known.
know.
How would she have known? We still need to finish that show. It's a good show. First few seasons are tough to get into, but late season's great.
Yeah,
There's a lot of seasons. Well, not right. So six, right? Six and a half,
only
something like
six, I think. Some of them
that.
pretty short.
Yeah.
Um, just searching up more about it, but um, and you?
Yeah. Well, you want to end the podcast with our what did you say before? I forget. It was something about anime. Fuck. Was it top three animes? Right?
Oh yeah, top three anime if you have
Oh man.
some in
Do you
mind.
have yours already? I'm sure you have yours. I mean, you thought of the question, so.
Uh, I mean, I I know two probably.
Hmm.
I'm trying to think of what I'm putting as the third still. It's
We've
man,
watched a lot of anime, man. It's tough.
we have.
Like too
Oh man,
much. I think I
yeah.
might have mine in mind. I think I might. And I don't know if they're like the best, but they're the best
But
because
it's your
we
top three,
watched them and
it's
like yeah.
preference.
My top three anime I think would be AOT, Attack on
Hmm.
Titan for sure. I think it's just like
Yep.
the story. This most recent season, the story is crazy. Like I love that it connected.
Oh yeah.
Probably ReZero is my second because
Yep.
I mean it's just it's perfect. It's a great show. It's everything I want. You know, it's got the romance, it's got the fantasy, it's got the action, it's got everything.
Hmm.
My third one, I really think it's gonna be Anohana. I think it
Anohana.
has to be Anohana. It's just like
Wow.
man, the emotional attachment you get in such a small amount of episodes is so crazy. Like when that show ends, I've seen it twice and it's broken me so bad each time that like it
Hmm.
has to be in my top 3. It has to be. Cuz I'm definitely going to go back. I know I'm going to go back and watch that in like another year or so
Oh
for
yeah.
sure. So, I think that's my top 3 for now.
Solid. Yeah. Unexpected. I mean, I guess when we first watched Anohana, it was in your top five already.
Yeah.
Um, and then it did wonders the second time around as well.
You fucked me up bad. Yeah.
Watch it if you haven't seen it. It will hurt.
Yeah, it's going to fucking burn. It's going to hurt your soul.
Oh man, my top three. Um, well, I gotta go with my my favorite, haiku, haiku. I don't know how
Right,
it's said.
right.
Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, I play volleyball, so I'm a little biased. But also, I mean, it has a great story, great cast. I see no faults. Great soundtrack.
Okay.
I know it's not for everyone,
No, I
but
haven't seen it. I can't judge. I don't even know
yeah,
what the fuck.
yeah.
I don't even know. I watched like 5 episodes,
But
so.
yeah. Um, my second, it's probably going to be hmm. This is so tough. I've watched so many anime. I'm gonna go with the I'm gonna go with the Fate series. Um,
Oh, okay.
Still in
Yeah.
my top five. It has been for a while. I think I'm gonna put it at number two. I have to include them
Okay.
both together. Unlimited
Okay.
Blade Works and Zero.
Okay.
Zero's the better story, but I like a lot of the characters in Ultimate Blade Works, and I mean
Mm.
the animation is just
It is good
too good.
animation. Yeah.
Um, and I mean I haven't seen the movies, but just the series themselves. My last one, I mean there's so many. Like I'd like to include Mob, but I can't fit them in top three.
Yeah.
Uh,
Opposite honorable mention for sure.
yeah, I think, man, recency bias is strong. It's either
Mm.
Hunter x Hunter or Steins Gate, and
Mm.
I think I'm gonna give it to Steins Gate. Um,
Wow. Okay.
yeah, I mean, I love Hunter x Hunter. It's like the anime that got me into anime. Um,
Fair
but
enough.
Steins Gate's like, it's just
Pretty
such a
solid.
complete story.
Yeah.
Like, the attachment to the characters is amazing.
Yeah.
The like rewatchability.
Yeah.
You can, I mean, I've seen it three, four times, see something new each time. Um,
It's a great show.
but it's a tough. I still haven't seen Steins Gate Zero, so maybe it gets even better. Even though it's, I mean, same universe, same type of show, kind
Yeah.
of.
Similar.
But yeah, I guess I'm gonna go with Haiku number one, Fate series number two, and Steins Gate number three. But if you
Solid.
asked me in a week, it would probably
Yeah,
be
it might
different
change.
because it changes every time I get asked the question.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like it was tough because I really like Cowboy Bebop. I like that
Yep.
show a lot. And I also really like Angel Beats. So it's
I
like
yep. I
I
was looking
almost
through
made it, but
my
I was like I can't. I mean, top 3 like those are ones that
yeah.
I'm like those are fucking amazing.
I was looking at my tens on my anime list and I saw Angel Beats there, like right at
Yeah.
the top, and
It's
I
a
was like,
solid
wow,
show, but
it's
it's not
so
top
good.
3. It's
It's
just
not
not.
top three. Like I have an old list I made last year, I think summer, of my top
Yeah.
five anime, and I had Haikyuu number one, ReZero number two, Attack on Titan number three. So like it changes so often, but
Yeah.
like
ReZero's gotta be in there for me. It's gotta be. It's such a
ReZero's
so
so
well
good.
animated and the story's great and it's just
Hmm.
perfect. It's a great show. It does take
The
for
only thing
fucking
you can
ever
complain
for them to
about
put it
is
out, but
yeah, the length for a
yeah,
new season,
how
but
long it fucking takes. But the product is so good that like the wait, it's worth
it's
the
worth.
wait. You know,
Yeah.
I hope I'm alive by the next one, bro. Like if I have to, it's gonna be like 20 years. I'm gonna be in my fucking deathbed. Like,
Hmm.
oh, ReZero came out. What a shame. Like I'll just be
We'll have
fucked.
to see. Do you think Attack on Titan's gonna stay in your top three by the end?
That's a good question. That's a good question. I think that yes, I think it will. I think regardless of how the show ends,
Hmm.
the earlier seasons are enough for me for it to stay in my top 10. At least my top 10 or top 5.
Yeah.
If the ending is different and it's worse, I don't know
Hmm.
because I actually don't mind the ending that they have right now in the manga. I don't mind
Yeah.
it. I think it's fair. But if they are going to change the ending and they make it almost weird and like not doesn't fit, it might change. But I think regardless, the first 3 seasons and at least what we've seen of the most recent season, I think it still stays in my top 10 at least. I don't think there's anything that could drop it below that.
No, I think
Yeah.
I agree. No matter how it ends, it's guaranteed top 10. No,
For sure.
like top seven for sure.
Yeah.
Um, And if the ending's good, it's definitely staying in the top five.
Staying in the top five for sure. Yeah. It's just like yeah, that last arc with him going back in time through the memories and like I just think, I mean, holy fuck, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like
Yeah, I mean,
biggest story
yeah,
wrap ups I've ever seen.
the first three seasons you're like, wow, this is great, and then like the start of
Yeah,
your the fourth season, you're like, okay, it's like it's different, and but then that second half of the fourth season
yeah,
like
it's
connects
just
everything back, so
insane. I mean, I
chef's
didn't
kiss.
know. Yeah, I didn't know. That's really how you write like a good story
Yeah,
is when you
I
really
didn't
connect
know a story could be
everything.
made like that. Yeah,
No. So,
and thought out
yeah, I
from
think
like the very
regardless.
first episode too.
Yeah,
Like,
insanity. Like the depth of that story is I don't know if we'll see that again.
hmm
I'm
that,
sure
that's
anime
why I'm.
fans are like fucking there's this show from 1995 that came out. It was so much better, but fuck you.
Mhm.
This story's
It's
great,
easy to
okay?
look at a like a one season show that like has a complete story and be
Yeah.
like, wow, like yeah, they did it good. But when you have a show that's multiple seasons and still
Yeah.
connecting,
In
hopefully
pretty much
finishing
every
strong.
way.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll see. I mean, hopefully the animation's good and I don't know. I hope they don't change the story too much because I actually like the ending. But let's have to see. It's coming up soon. Got a lot of good anime coming
Hmm.
out, so
Indeed.
see a lot to talk about. But is there anything else you want to say? We're about hour and 20 in. It's about our usual end time.
Um,
Anything you wanna? I don't know. It's nothing to
throw out
plug
there.
really. But yeah, anything you want to say to the
uh,
however many people watch this?
Nothing much. I think if we're all wrapped up, if you have any suggestions for anyone who watches this about stuff to
Hmm.
talk about or
Yeah. So
anything at all,
yeah, anything
leave a
you're
comment
curious about?
somewhere.
Any
You'll be the only
stories you
one who
want us to talk
commented,
about?
so we'll see it. Um,
100%. That's true. That is true.
hmm
Get in before we get too famous. You know, we can't
Yeah,
talk to people. You know,
of course.
but yeah. No, I got nothing to plug. I don't think. I got songs coming out and stuff. I don't know. You know, I'll put stuff in the description. I make music. If you want to listen, you can. That's about all I've got going on. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, we do have a Patreon, which I haven't really decided what to do with yet. We don't have a lot of viewers, so like I just have it up. If anyone likes the podcast a lot and wants to support, you can. It's obviously not required or needed, but if you want to help it out, you know, maybe we'll get some new mics or something like that. But got a
Lord knows we could
Patreon.
use it.
Yeah, could get some. You know, that's probably the goal is to get new mics, make enough money to get new mics. But there's a Patreon. There's a link in the description. That's an affiliate link. If you want to make podcasts, you can use that link. It helps us out, and you'll get a bit of a discount on your account. Um, Other than that, yeah, just follow us. You know, we got Twitters and Instagram and everything. Links in the description. And yeah, I think that'll do it. See you next week, hopefully, as long as we don't fuck up too bad. Alrighty. Goodbye.
Peace.